The family dinner had started like any other Thursday night gathering, with my younger brother Marcus stealing the spotlight. This time, however, he'd gone too far. "It's perfect," his fiancée Olivia gushed, waving her diamond ring that I knew Marcus couldn't actually afford. The private beach, the sunset view, space for at least 200 guests. 200? I asked quietly, cutting into my mother's overcooked pot roast. "That's quite a crowd for someone else's property." "Oh, don't be difficult, Alexander," my mother chided. "It's your brother's wedding, and that house is just sitting there empty most of the year while you're off doing whatever it is you do." "International hotel development," I corrected, not for the first time. "And the property isn't empty. It's being prepared for its next phase." "Next phase?" Marcus snorted. "Come on, Alex. You bought that place 3 years ago and haven't done anything with it except stay there maybe twice a year. It's wasted on you." I took a slow sip of water, studying my younger brother. At 32, 2 years my junior, Marcus had perfected the art of entitlement. Everything had always been handed to him. College paid for by our parents who couldn't afford my tuition. Connections through Dad's country club membership, which I was mysteriously never offered, and now apparently my property. "The invitations are gorgeous," Olivia continued, pulling one from her designer purse. "Look, join us for a sunset celebration at the Beach House estate. Your address is on the response cards." I accepted the heavy cream envelope, noting the gold foil lettering that probably cost more than Marcus's monthly salary as a mid-level insurance salesman. "When exactly did you plan this wedding?" "June 15th, Marcus announced proudly. "Perfect weather, perfect timing." 6 weeks from now, I noted. "And when were you planning to actually ask my permission?" The table fell silent for a moment. My father cleared his throat uncomfortably. "Son, it's family. Surely you're not going to make a fuss about your own brother's wedding." I placed the invitation carefully on the table. "Did you know the property is currently undergoing environmental impact studies?" "Environmental what?" Olivia's perfectly plucked eyebrows drew together. "Required assessments for the hotel conversion," I explained, pulling out my tablet. "The Sunset Bay Resort project. Construction begins in 5 weeks. "Construction?" Marcus's face reddened. "What construction? You can't do construction. We've already sent out invitations." "To a property you don't own," I reminded him. "For a date you never confirmed. Here's the project timeline." I turned the tablet around, showing them the detailed plans for converting my empty beach house into a boutique eco-resort. The 3D renderings showed a stunning transformation. Solar panels, living walls, sustainable design that blended with the natural landscape. But Olivia stammered, her French manicured nails clutching the edge of the table. 200 people are coming. Important people, my father's business associates, the country club board members, people you can't afford to host," I pointed out. "Unless you were planning to stick me with the cost along with the venue?" Marcus's silence was telling. "Alexander James Morrison." My mother gasped. "How dare you imply your brother would take advantage?" "Like he took advantage of your retirement savings for his sure-thing investment scheme last year?" I asked mildly. "How much of that have you gotten back, Mom?" More telling silence. "The resort project has been in planning for 2 years," I continued. "It's part of my company's Sustainable Hospitality Initiative. The permits are approved, contractors hired, and timeline set." "You're making this up," Marcus accused. "This is just spite because you're jealous I'm getting married before you." I smiled slightly. "Michael," I called out to the dining room doorway. "Could you join us?" My assistant, who had been waiting discreetly in the hall, entered with a portfolio. He'd known exactly how this dinner would play out. "The latest contractor agreements, sir," he said, placing the documents on the table, "and the updated timeline from the architectural firm. They've actually moved the groundbreaking up a week to June 8th. "June 8th, Olivia shrieked. "A week before the wedding." "The wedding you never actually got permission to hold there," I reminded her. "Michael, please show them the property's current status." Michael pulled up photos on his tablet. Construction equipment already in place, initial surveying underway, building materials being delivered. "This is already happening," I explained gently. "Has been happening while you were planning a wedding on someone else's property without asking. You're ruining everything." Olivia burst into tears, smearing her expensive mascara. "My perfect beach wedding." "No," I corrected. You ruined your own plans by making assumptions and decisions about property that isn't yours. Rather entitled behavior, wouldn't you say, Marcus? Like assuming mom and dad would keep funding your lifestyle forever? My brother's face had gone from red to white. You don't understand. Olivia's father, he's expecting this big society wedding. His connections could make my career. Ah yes, the mysterious future father-in-law who's so well connected but isn't paying for his daughter's wedding. I mused. Tell me, does he know you're planning to host his important business associates at a property you don't own or control? Olivia's tears stopped abruptly. Daddy thinks Marcus owns the beach house, she whispered. We told him, we told everyone. That's fraud, Michael noted helpfully. Misrepresenting property ownership to secure business advantages. Quite serious, legally speaking. My mother jumped in desperately. Alexander, surely you can delay the construction. Just a few weeks, for family. The contracts are signed, I said. Penalties for delays would be in the millions. Not to mention the environmental permits have strict timelines. I'll pay the penalties, Marcus declared grandly. Whatever it costs. I raised an eyebrow. With what money? The commission from your last insurance scam. He flinched. That wasn't, I didn't. Selling policies with hidden clauses to elderly clients? I continued. The state insurance board is quite interested in that practice. Michael, when is that investigation scheduled? Next month, sir, though it could be expedited if necessary. Marcus slumped in his chair. How do you know about that? I make it my business to know about potential risks to my properties and investments, like family members who might try to use them without permission. You've been watching me. His voice was hollow. Protecting myself, I corrected. Ever since you tried to take out a loan using my beach house as collateral last year. Olivia's head snapped up. You did what? He forged my signature, I explained. Luckily the bank's verification process caught it. I chose not to press charges. Family after all, but I did start paying closer attention. Marcus, Olivia's voice had gone very cold. Is this true? His silence was admission enough. The insurance fraud investigation, she pressed. Is that true too? Just some paperwork issues, he tried weakly. Nothing serious. Actually, Michael interjected. The preliminary findings suggest criminal charges are likely, unless. Marcus grabbed the lifeline desperately. Unless certain parties cooperate fully, I finished. Provide evidence about others involved in the scheme. Take responsibility for their actions. You're blackmailing me. Some of Marcus's arrogance tried to reassert itself. No, I'm offering you a choice. Own your mistakes, make amends, build something legitimate, or face the consequences of your actions. Your choice. And the wedding? Olivia demanded. Cannot happen at my property, I said firmly. But, her tears threatened to return. The Sunset Bay Resort's first event space will be completed in September. If you're interested in a fall wedding, I could offer you a significant family discount, assuming certain conditions are met. Conditions? Marcus asked warily. Full cooperation with the insurance investigation, repayment of mom and dad's retirement money, honest work building a legitimate career, and most importantly, learning to respect other people's property and rights. That's blackmail, my father protested weakly. No, I corrected. That's consequences meeting opportunity. Marcus has skills, he's good with people, understands hospitality. The resort will need an events manager eventually, someone who knows how to handle high-end clients properly and ethically. You'd give me a job. Marcus sounded suspicious. No, I'd give you the opportunity to earn a legitimate career. Starting at the bottom, learning the business properly, working your way up based on merit rather than manipulation. Starting at the bottom, Olivia's voice dripped disdain. As what? Assistant events coordinator. Entry level. Same way I started in hotel management 15 years ago. 15 years, my mother interrupted. But you were working as a hotel clerk right after college. While learning every aspect of the business, I agreed. While saving money, making connections, building something real, instead of taking shortcuts. Now I own 17 properties across 3 continents. The silence that followed was profound. 17, Marcus whispered. But, you drive a 5-year-old Honda. Because I invest in properties and people, not status symbols, I explained. The same way this resort will invest in sustainable tourism and local conservation. Real value, not superficial shows of wealth. Like my wedding was supposed to be. Olivia realized quietly. Yes, a show to impress people with borrowed property and money you don't have, instead of building something genuine. She looked at her enormous engagement ring, then at Marcus. Did you actually buy this? Or is it another lie? His silence answered for him. Michael, I said quietly, please give them the resort employment package information and the insurance board investigators' contact details. They have some decisions to make. What about the wedding guests? My mother asked desperately. I'll have my PR team draft a suitable explanation about the date and venue change, I offered. Though you'll need to be honest with Olivia's father about the property ownership situation. Daddy will be furious, Olivia whispered. Yes, I agreed, but better fury over truth than fraud charges over lies. Right, Marcus? My brother stared at the employment package Michael had placed before him. Entry level, he said softly. Starting over completely, with a chance to build something real, I reminded him. The same chance I took 15 years ago. Your choice. And if I refuse, try to fight you on the property use. Then the insurance investigation proceeds immediately. The fraud charges follow, and you lose both the wedding venue and your license to sell insurance. Also your choice. Olivia stood up suddenly. I need time to think about everything. Of course, I nodded. The employment offer stands for 2 weeks. The insurance board cooperation opportunity as well. After that, events proceed as legally required. You've really been watching us all this time? Marcus asked, planning for this. I've been protecting my investments while hoping you'd make better choices, I corrected. Now you have one last chance to do exactly that. By working for my big brother, he said bitterly. No, by working for yourself, building something real, becoming someone worthy of trust and respect. The job is just a tool for that transformation, if you choose to use it. My mother was crying quietly now. Where did we go wrong, with both of you? You didn't go wrong with me, I said gently. You just never saw what I was building, because you were too busy enabling Marcus. Now you have a chance to support him becoming something better instead. I stood up, nodding to Michael. 2 weeks, make your choices wisely. The resort project proceeds either way, but your futures depend on what you decide. Alex, Marcus called as I reached the door. Did you buy the beach house, knowing this would happen? No, I bought it to build something meaningful. You just proved why that was necessary. I left them sitting there, surrounded by construction plans and employment packages, facing real consequences perhaps for the first time in their lives. In the car, Michael glanced at me. Think they'll take the offer? Marcus will, I said confidently. Once Olivia's father learns the truth about the property and threatens to withdraw his business connections. Sometimes people need external pressure to make better choices, and the wedding will happen in September at the resort, with a much smaller guest list, and a lot more honesty, after Marcus starts proving he can change. You planned this whole thing, didn't you? The timing of the construction, the insurance investigation. I planned to protect my investments, I corrected. My brother's choices just made it necessary, sooner rather than later. Sometimes the biggest investment isn't in property, it's in giving people one last chance to become better than they are, even if they need a little forceful encouragement to take it. 2 weeks passed, marked by tense family dynamics and difficult revelations. I was in my office reviewing the resort's construction timeline when Michael announced an unexpected visitor. Miss Harrison is here to see you, he said. Alone. Olivia. Interesting. Send her in. She looked different. Gone was the flashy designer wear, replaced by a simple business suit. The massive engagement ring was conspicuously absent. Your secretary said you had 10 minutes, she began, taking a seat. Michael's my executive assistant, not my secretary, I corrected. And yes, construction meetings start soon. What can I do for you? I broke up with Marcus. I leaned back, studying her carefully. Because of the property fraud or the insurance investigation? Because I finally saw the truth, she said quietly. About him, about myself, about everything. Go on. I told my father everything, she continued. About Marcus, lying about owning the beach house. About the insurance schemes. About how we were planning to use his business connections to cover our debts. How did he take it? Better than I expected. He said he'd suspected Marcus was lying about his success. Said he was waiting for me to see it too. I nodded. Wise man. He's also furious about being lied to. Pulled all his business from Marcus's agency. That's when Marcus finally realized actions have consequences. She nodded. He didn't handle it well. Started talking about new schemes, ways to convince other clients to invest in fake properties. That's when I knew I had to end it. And now? She straightened her shoulders. I saw the entry-level position in your resort's event planning department is still open. It is. I'd like to apply. Properly through HR, with no family connections or special treatment. I raised an eyebrow. You have experience in event planning, 3 years coordinating charity events for my father's company. Real experience, not just attending parties. I have references. The position pays $35,000 a year to start, I noted. Quite a change from your previous lifestyle. A real job with real work is better than a fake life with borrowed luxury, she said firmly. I learned that lesson at least. I studied her for a moment. And Marcus, what's he choosing? Her expression hardened. Last I heard he was trying to convince your parents to mortgage their house to help him start a new business venture. Something about cryptocurrency trading. Ah, I picked up my phone. Michael, please call the insurance board investigators. Tell them we're ready to proceed immediately. What are you doing? Olivia asked. Protecting my parents from their own enabling instincts. Sometimes rock bottom needs a little push. He'll face criminal charges. He'll face consequences. I corrected. With an opportunity to reduce them through cooperation. His choice. She was quiet for a moment. You're not what I thought you were. No? I thought you were just the boring older brother who got lucky with one beach house. Marcus said. Marcus said what he needed to believe to justify his own choices. I finished. Reality is usually more complex, like the fact that you own 17 properties worldwide. 18 as of last week, I corrected. The Dubai acquisition just closed. She shook her head slowly. All this time building this empire quietly, while Marcus and I were playing pretend with other people's money. Success doesn't need an audience. I said. It needs work, integrity and patience. The 3 things Marcus never had, she noted. The 3 things you seem to be learning. She squared her shoulders. Yes, starting with applying for the job properly. No shortcuts. HR will review your application objectively. I agreed. Though I should warn you, the head of HR is very thorough about background checks. Good, she said firmly. I want to earn this. Really earn it. My phone buzzed. Michael messaging about the insurance investigators. They're ready to move on Marcus. I noted. Last chance to warn him. She stood up. No, he needs this. Maybe hitting bottom will finally teach him what you tried to. And you, what has all this taught you? That I'd rather work hard for something real than live easy with lies, she said simply. Thank you for the wake-up call, even if it wasn't gentle. Sometimes gentle doesn't work, I acknowledged. Good luck with HR. After she left, Michael came in with an update. Insurance investigators are moving now. Your parents called. Marcus apparently tried to forge their signatures on mortgage documents this morning. Right on schedule. I nodded. Alert our legal team, and get me the background check on Olivia Harrison's event planning experience. Already done. He handed me a file. Her references are solid. The charity events were real and she did good work. Interesting. Someone choosing truth over comfort. Make sure HR knows to review her application objectively. And Marcus will learn about consequences the hard way, since he refused to learn about opportunities the right way. The next few days brought the expected storm. Marcus was arrested for insurance fraud and forgery. My parents called alternately crying and raging about my role in it. The local business community buzzed with gossip about the failed society wedding and its fraudulent foundation. Through it all, construction on the resort continued smoothly. A week after Marcus's arrest, my father showed up at my office unannounced. Your brother's facing prison time, he said without preamble. Yes. The investigators say you've been gathering evidence for months. Yes. Why? The question seemed torn from him. Why would you do this to your own brother? To prevent him from doing worse, I replied calmly. To stop him from dragging you and Mom down with his schemes. To give him one last chance to choose a better path. By having him arrested. By showing him real consequences before he crossed lines he couldn't come back from. I corrected. The plea deal is very reasonable. Plea deal. Full cooperation, testimony against the insurance fraud ring, 2 years probation and mandatory financial counseling. No prison time if he complies fully. Dad sank into a chair. You arranged this too. I arranged an opportunity, I said. His choice whether to take it, along with some mysterious job offer, entry-level position in resort management, starting at the bottom, learning the business properly, if he wants it, under his big brother's thumb. Under proper supervision while learning legitimate business practices. I corrected. The same way I learned. He was quiet for a long moment. We really never saw you, did we? All these years building this empire while we focused on Marcus. I finished. Yes. But that's not important now. What matters is whether he finally learns from this. And if he doesn't, then he faces progressively worse consequences until he does. Or until he's no longer in a position to harm others with his choices. That's harsh. Reality often is. The question is whether we learn from it or keep trying to avoid it. He studied me with new eyes. When did you get so successful? When I stopped expecting shortcuts and started doing the work. The same opportunity Marcus has now. If he takes it. If he chooses to, I agreed. Though having his parents enable his excuses won't help that choice. Dad flinched. We were trying to help. You were avoiding hard conversations, I corrected. The same way you did when he stole my college fund. When he forged your signatures on loans. When he, enough. Dad held up a hand. I get it. We failed both of you, in different ways. You didn't fail me, I said quietly. You just didn't see me. But Marcus, you failed him by never letting him face consequences. Until now. Until now. I agreed. Though it's not too late to do better. If you're willing to help him learn instead of helping him hide. Dad was quiet for a long time. Finally he asked, this plea deal, when does he have to decide? 48 hours. The resort position offer has the same deadline. And Olivia? I heard she applied for a job here. Through proper channels, with proper qualifications. HR will decide objectively. He nodded slowly. You're teaching all of us, aren't you? Not just Marcus. I'm offering opportunities to learn, I corrected. Everyone's choices are their own, including the choice to see you clearly for the first time, he said quietly. I'm sorry we missed so much. The past isn't important, I said. What matters is what we build going forward. Speaking of which, I handed him a folder. What's this? The resort's community investment program. We're looking for experienced financial advisors to teach basic money management to local students. Properly this time with full transparency and ethical practices. Interested? He opened the folder with shaking hands. You're offering me a job too. I'm offering you a chance to help build something meaningful, I corrected. While helping your son learn to do the same, if you choose to take it. Sometimes the hardest lessons come wrapped in unexpected opportunities. The question is whether we're finally ready to learn them. 3 months later, the Sunset Bay Resort was taking shape, both structurally and organizationally. I stood in the newly completed event space, watching my brother Marcus arrange chairs for an evening business seminar. He'd taken the plea deal, barely making the deadline. 2 months into his probation and entry-level position, the changes were noticeable. The designer clothes were gone, replaced by practical business attire. The arrogant smirk had given way to a more thoughtful expression. Those need to be exactly 6 inches apart, I noted, checking his work. Precision matters in professional events. I know, he said quietly, measuring the spacing again. Olivia taught me that. Ah yes, the interesting dynamic I hadn't expected. Olivia had indeed gotten the events coordinator position, on her own merits, as HR confirmed. Now she was effectively Marcus's supervisor in the events department. Ironic twist neither had anticipated. She's good at her job, I observed. Better than I ever was at mine, Marcus admitted, adjusting another chair. All those years pretending to be successful, and she actually knew what she was doing. Interesting lesson there. He straightened up, looking at me directly. You know what the weird thing is? I make less money now than I did running insurance scams, but I sleep better. Honest work tends to have that effect. Is that why you drive a Honda instead of a Mercedes? Even though you could afford a fleet of luxury cars, I sleep better investing in things that matter. I agreed. Speaking of which, how are the mandatory financial counseling sessions going? He flushed slightly. Eye-opening. Did you know Dad's teaching some of them now? Yes. He's quite good at explaining financial responsibility, now that he's learned it himself. Our father had taken the teaching position with the resort's community program, throwing himself into educating others about the financial mistakes he'd enabled in his own family. Sometimes teaching others helps us understand our own failures better. Mom's still not speaking to you, Marcus noted, moving to the next row of chairs. She'll come around when she's ready to face reality, I said calmly. Some lessons take longer than others. Like me taking 32 years to learn basic integrity. You're learning now, that's what matters. He was quiet for a moment, measuring chair spaces. The insurance investigators interviewed me again yesterday. I know. Of course you do. He smiled slightly. You know everything. Not everything. Just what affects my investments. Is that what I am now? An investment? I studied him thoughtfully. You're my brother, someone worth investing in. If you're willing to do the work, like Olivia's doing. She's exceeded expectations, I acknowledged. HR is considering her for a promotion already. Good, he said softly. She deserves it. She deserves better than what I was. I emphasized. People can change. If they want to badly enough, he agreed. If someone gives them a chance to learn instead of just punishing them. Speaking of chances, I pulled out a folder. The resort's financial services division is launching next month. We'll need someone who understands insurance, the legal kind, to help develop proper coverage packages for guests and events. His hands shook slightly as he took the folder. You're offering me a promotion after only 3 months. I'm offering you an opportunity to use your knowledge ethically, I corrected. Whether you're ready for that responsibility is up to you to prove. Does Olivia know about this? She recommended you for the position, I revealed. Said you've shown genuine change and understanding of proper business practices. He sat heavily in one of the chairs he just arranged. Even after everything I did. The lies, the fake engagement, the past matters less than what you're choosing to become, I interrupted. She sees that. So do I. And the insurance board, my probation, would be satisfied by you helping develop ethical coverage practices, proper restitution through positive contribution. He studied the folder's contents. This is real responsibility. Yes, think you can handle that. 3 months ago? No way. Now, he squared his shoulders. I want to try, properly this time. Good answer, Alex, he asked quietly. Why did you do all this? You could have just had me arrested, cut ties, let me crash and burn. Instead I invested in potential. I finished. The same way I invest in sustainable properties and ethical businesses, because building something meaningful matters more than quick profits or easy revenge. Is that why the resort has all these community programs, the education initiatives, the local hiring priorities, the environmental projects? Everything connects, I explained. Business success, community development, environmental responsibility, personal growth. The more you build one, the stronger the others become. I never understood that before, he admitted. Never saw the bigger picture. You were too focused on appearances, I noted. The fancy cars, the fake success, the society wedding, status without substance, he nodded. Empty showing off while you were quietly building an empire. Not an empire, I corrected. A foundation, for change, for growth, for teaching entitled younger brothers valuable life lessons, he suggested with a small smile. Among other things, a knock at the door interrupted us. Olivia entered, clipboard in hand, looking professional and focused. The business seminar starts in 2 hours, she announced. Marcus, we need to review the audio-visual setup and catering arrangements. On it, he said promptly, standing up. just finished the chair spacing. She checked the measurements efficiently. Good work. Much better than last week's alignment. I had a good teacher, he said quietly. Their eyes met briefly, acknowledging how far they'd both come from the fake engagement and borrowed status, the financial services position. Olivia said to me, "Did you tell him?" "Just now," I nodded. "He seems to understand the responsibility involved." "He'd better," she said crisply. I didn't recommend him lightly. "I won't let you down," Marcus promised. "Either of you. See that you don't," she replied, but there was a slight softness in her tone. Now about the AV setup. I left them to their work, walking through the resort's developing grounds. The sustainable design was taking shape beautifully. Solar panels gleaming, native plants thriving, the whole property a testament to responsible development. My phone buzzed, a message from Michael. "Your mother's here. Interesting timing. Send her to the Ocean View Terrace." She was standing at the railing when I arrived, looking out over the beach where Marcus's wedding was supposed to have happened. "It's beautiful," she said without turning. "What you're building here." I finally came to see it properly. "Yes. I've been angry," she admitted. "About Marcus's arrest. About you monitoring him. About all of it. I know. But I saw him today, working. Really working. And Olivia she's flourishing. And your father teaching others about financial responsibility." She shook her head. "You're not just building a resort, are you? No, you're rebuilding our whole family. The right way this time." "I'm offering opportunities," I corrected. "Everyone's choices are their own." She turned finally, really looking at me. "We missed so much. All these years we never saw what you were building, who you'd become." "That's the past," I said quietly. "What matters is now." Speaking of which, I handed her a folder, the last piece of my family reconstruction project. "What's this?" "The resort's community outreach program needs a coordinator for local charitable initiatives, someone with social connections and event experience, but willing to learn proper nonprofit management." Her hands trembled as she opened it. "You're offering me a job too." "I'm offering you a chance to build something meaningful," I corrected. "To use your social skills for actual community benefit instead of just status games. Teaching me lessons too, if you're willing to learn them." She looked out at the resort grounds again, watching Marcus and Olivia efficiently coordinating event preparations below. "We all needed this wake-up call," she said softly. "Didn't we? Some lessons have to be learned the hard way." I agreed. The question is what we build after we learn them. Sometimes the biggest construction projects aren't about buildings at all. They're about rebuilding the foundations of character, one hard lesson at a time. 1 year later, I stood at the podium for the Sunset Bay Resort's first anniversary celebration. The event space was packed, but not with the society crowd Marcus and Olivia had once dreamed of impressing. Instead, local community leaders, environmental activists, and business partners filled the seats. People who understood the value of building something meaningful. My family sat in the front row, transformed almost beyond recognition. Marcus in his financial services director suit, quietly holding Olivia's hand, their new relationship built on mutual respect and genuine growth, rather than fake status. Mom in her community outreach attire, proud of the charitable initiatives she'd developed. Dad, now heading our financial education department, helping others avoid the mistakes he'd once enabled. A year ago, I began. This property was meant to host a very different kind of event, a showcase of borrowed luxury and pretend success. Marcus nodded slightly, acknowledging the reference to his canceled wedding. Instead, it became something far more valuable, a catalyst for real change, not just in sustainable hospitality, but in human potential. I gestured to the success statistics displayed behind me. In our first year, we've hosted 200 educational events, provided job training for 150 local residents, and launched 12 environmental initiatives. Our sustainable practices have reduced energy consumption by 60% compared to traditional resorts. Proud smiles from the environmental team. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. The real success lies in the transformations we've witnessed, in people choosing substance over status, integrity over illusion, hard work over easy shortcuts. My mother dabbed at her eyes discreetly. "Some of you know that this resort's journey began with a family conflict over property use. What you may not know is that conflict became an opportunity for learning, for growth, for rebuilding relationships on stronger foundations. Olivia squeezed Marcus's hand. Today, we're not just celebrating a successful business venture. We're celebrating the power of second chances, properly earned, the value of facing consequences and choosing to learn from them, the importance of building success through integrity rather than illusion. Dad straightened in his chair, his teacher's badge gleaming. Looking ahead, we're expanding our educational initiatives, launching new environmental programs, and continuing to invest in human potential. Because true success isn't measured in luxury trappings or social status. It's measured in positive impact and genuine growth. I smiled at my family. A year ago, some people thought this property was being wasted because it wasn't hosting extravagant parties. Today, it's helping build a better community, a healthier environment, and stronger characters. I'd say that's the opposite of waste. The applause was genuine, but the proud tears in my family's eyes meant more. At the reception afterward, Marcus approached me holding 2 glasses of sparkling water, alcohol being something he'd chosen to leave behind with his old life. "Hell of a year, big brother," he said quietly. "Indeed, you know, Olivia and I are talking about trying again. A real relationship this time, built on who we've become instead of who we were pretending to be." "I know," I smiled. "She ran the idea past HR to ensure no policy conflicts." He laughed. "Of course she did. She takes professional ethics very seriously now. Good qualities tend to reinforce each other." "Speaking of good qualities," he hesitated. "I've been thinking about that beachfront property that started all this." I raised an eyebrow. "Not for a wedding," he added quickly. "I was wondering if we could use it for the new youth environmental education program. The location would be perfect for teaching kids about marine conservation." I studied him thoughtfully. "Interesting proposal. Formal plan on my desk Monday." "Already drafted," he grinned. "With proper budgets, environmental impact assessments, and educational outcome metrics." I learned from the best. "You learned because you chose to," I corrected. "We all did." Mom joined us, her community outreach coordinator badge sitting where her country club pin used to be. "The local children's charity wants to partner on holiday programs," she announced proudly. "Real community support, not just society parties." "Write it up properly," I nodded. "Michael will review it." "Already started," she smiled. "Your father's helping with the financial projections." "Properly documented, of course." I looked around at my transformed family, all of them now building something meaningful, instead of chasing empty status. "A year ago," Marcus mused, "I thought owning a beachfront property was the key to success. Now I understand it's not about what you own. It's about what you build." I finished. "And who you become while building it." Sometimes the most valuable construction projects aren't the ones made of brick and steel, but the ones that rebuild human character. One hard lesson, one conscious choice, one genuine achievement at a time.